like a one shot, like a, you know.
You said the children were in here.
Follow xQc and chat. It's my
Obviously
birthday
not.
tomorrow, Pog, I guess.
Mr. Mabere
Can you
Clever
please
than
play
hasn't
this
been
song?
telling Paul the truth. And he's back on the phone to Christine.
Pogo 17
So you said he just
months
rang
up.
again?
I can't believe that you have given me that many
children
months
not
of
in there.
laughs. Anyways, I hope you and chat have
This
a
is the same noise
birthday,
that. I'm just like,
xQcOW.
what is that?
9 months after putting her home up for rent, Christine walks back into her property.
A bit shaky, actually. Look at this day. Big room, less drawers. And it was a brand new kitchen when they came in. And that is disgusting.
Yikes,
I had a
dude.
really nice home before, and this is despicable, and it
That's a
smells.
piece of shit.
I've got to turn this around really quickly, because they owe me so much money. Oh my gosh. Then it's dreadful. I haven't been able to work because of ill health, and this was my only source of income for very nearly 9 months. And they've not paid a complete month's rent in all of that time.
Paul and Phil have been at the property for an hour, and there's still no sign of the tenant.
I don't like to leave without seeing the person that we've
Can
just
break in?
evicted. I like to complete the loop, make sure he's got a copy of the writ.
So Paul gives Mr. Mabere one last chance to attend the eviction.
Hello? Yeah, okay, so we've repossessed the property. Your children are not inside and never were. So if you want this, a copy of this writ, you must come here quite quickly because I have other work to do.
Okay, I'll go on my way.
How long will you be?
25 minutes.
Thank you very much. Bye.
With the tenant's arrival imminent, Paul advises Christine to keep a low profile. Half an hour later, Mr. Mabere finally arrives at the house.
Okay.
Calculator.
It's always a relief if the tenant turns up, because we can explain to them very forcefully what the effects of the writ are, and there are no loose ends left for the landlord to try and explain.
The
Please watch
defendant
this modern
immediately
montage,
questions
it's
the
hilarious.
legality of the High Court writ and produces a letter from the county court.
Yo.
It's going to be taken to the High Court, so I'm just going to take that to them and they'll cancel it.
They won't.
Oh, that's what they said anyway. But it's fine, don't worry. They will sort it out. Because they say
Hate
this is an
shadow.
illegal thing. Give it to me, I'll
Sorry
take it
about
up.
that.
Of course, by all means.
It
Thank you very
seems I
much.
had a malfunction.
I would say 70 to
Please help
80%
me.
are where the tenants are not necessarily taking the piss. That's probably a bit strong. But
Why does this being a
taking
cardboard?
advantage of circumstances and they're just stretching it out to breaking point. I'm not going to be helpful to you unless you change your attitude.
Okay, that's fine.
I suggest you go to the court and turn it all upside down.
No,
And then
that's
I'll
fine.
see you back here on Tuesday.
No, it's fine. I just need to take a few emergency things.
It's my
Faced
hair.
with
My
Paul's
hair.
ultimatum, Mr. Mabere goes inside to
Where's
collect a few essentials.
Did you go in, Phil?
Yeah.
Stay close.
He can collect all his
Oh, the
belongings
fucking
in a few
guy.
days' time.
Yeah, Bill Gates
So you don't
Andy.
miss anything. Identification, medication, clothes, and some toiletries.
But the tenant's frustration over the eviction begins to show.
There's dispute as to who has possession of this property.
Sir, there's no dispute, okay?
Something else, and another court says something else.
Sir.
Yeah? Do not point at me like that.
Calm down.
Yeah? Do
Right.
not point at me like that.
Please
And
calm
do not,
down.
Do not adopt an attitude with me either.
I'm not any attitude with you, I'm calm.
Wait, this guy thinks he owns the place.
I'm not
But not only is he
condescending.
renting, he hasn't paid once.
If it's to do with racism, you want to see a black person.
What?
Sir, this has got nothing to do with racism. I don't know, that is an outrageous claim.
I've never seen anyone speak to a white person in the way you're speaking to me. I've never.
I think people are stressed in circumstances like an eviction. All they're looking
Okay,
for is a
dude.
weapon to throw back at us, be it a tirade, a choice of words, racism, whatever insults they can throw back, they do. And we just let it ride, because after a few minutes it'll go away and we'll just get down to the job in hand.
A quarter of an hour later, and the tenant seems to be in no hurry to leave.
Is there anything else you need to grab from the house,
Yeah,
sir?
fuck this guy,
Been
dude.
here too long now.
Mr. Mabere ignores Phil
He locks the
and
door.
locks himself in the downstairs bathroom.
It's taken a long time.
It's all right, my patience will run out shortly.
It's like me, dude, whenever I would get scolded by my parents, I would lock myself in my fucking room, dude.
It's still down there. So, what are you doing in there? Sounds like you're counting money. Sounds like you're counting money. Okay. Oh, he's counting money in
That
the
too is
bathroom.
done, he's jerking off.
Lots.
Yeah. He hasn't paid the rent for what, 7 months? He's in the bathroom counting money. Makes you sick, but you see it every day and you kind of get desensitised to it and, well... There you go.
It's been over 2 hours since the agents arrived at the property, and Paul has had enough.
We're going to be out now in 5 minutes, please. I'll perhaps rephase that. You've got 5 minutes to leave.
Just want to make sure I got all my people.
No, that's okay.
But instead of leaving, the tenant heads back upstairs.
If he doesn't go in the next 5 minutes, I'll physically eject him. But he's just been truculent, isn't he?
Right, you need to leave now,
Truculent,
sir.
isn't he?
You've had more than enough time. And once you're dressed, so you're going to have to go. Your bag's already outside waiting.
After 3/4 of an hour at the property, Mr. Mabere finally leaves.
Just ignore him.
You
The
know,
important thing
yeah.
is you've got your property back now and you can relax. It's your house.
It's end of a chapter. Thank you. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah.
I don't get it. Is he gonna... Guys, chat, I'm so confused. Are they gonna, like, make him pay rent or something like that? How does that even work?